Okay, this is part 3 of our current events project for organizational and institutional psychology. And today we are talking about work-family conflict. So how can an organization reduce or prevent work-family conflict? First, we'll take a look at some empirical suggestions. So these are studies that have been done. The first one was done in 2014, and it talked about giving the employee control over their time and timing of their work. So letting the employee have some control over their schedule and what works best for them and their family can definitely help mitigate these conflicts between work and family. Next, ensure that work expectations are clear and compatible. So make sure upfront that your employee knows what's expected of them, timing wise and hours wise and work wise, so that they're able to go in knowing what to prepare their family for. And next, short term solutions and decisions to have better balance will not be as effective as long term change in work expectations and management. So if you have someone who is really struggling with this work family balance, making sure that you're talking about more long-term solutions such as lightening their workload, a change in management, something like that. Otherwise, it may not work out for this employee, and this will probably continue to be a problem. Them just deciding to make a temporary change will most likely not allow this conflict to go away. Some practical suggestions from the work side of things that work can do to make this easier is first, clearly state expectations, hours, and feedback cycles at the beginning of employment. This lets them know upfront what is expected of them. Next, check in to see if employees' workload is achievable within their set work week. So this might change for every employee, and one employee might be able to achieve a lot more than another one, but checking in within those first few months to make sure that this is achievable is really important. You don't want an employee who's having to work 60 to 80 hours a week to achieve what they need to for your work. Next, help them buy into company culture and make part of your company culture valuing their family. So do things within your company to kind of bring the family in and involve them in what's happening and make your employee feel very valued. Next, be flexible when family needs come up. In our world today, there's a huge expectation of flexibility, and that isn't possible for all workplaces. But just knowing that, yes, if your employee has small kids, there will be times that come up where they do need the flexibility within the workplace, and that is a reasonable request. That's not something that is ridiculous for them to ask for. Some practical suggestions on the family side of things. So what can they do with their families to make this more possible and make it work better with their workplace is first, make sure that your family is aware of work hours and expectations from the beginning. So if the work requires 40 hours a week and you have to get this much work done, just make sure your family knows from the beginning, this is what's expected of me. If you're going into a really busy season, like you're an accountant and tax season's coming up, just letting your family know, like, hey, this is how long this is going to go. I am going to be busier for this time. And then afterwards, these are the things we're going to do to kind of help that and make it easier. Communicating with your family when work-life balance isn't working. So this is kind of on the part of the family at home as well, is communicating back and forth and letting each other know, hey, this isn't working for me, or this is working, and then communicating with work as well. So making this not just a one-sided within the family conversation, but actually taking it to work and making it work for them as well. Next, involve your family when possible. We work at a really great place that allows us to come in and eat lunch with my husband and do what we need to be able to keep our family involved when he's in his really busy seasons. Not every place can do this, but when possible, try and involve your families and bring them into your workplace, as well as just including them in work decisions and stuff like that. And finally, find ways to communicate with work and prioritize family when needed. So communicating with your job when it's just not working and finding ways to prioritize your family, because ultimately we are not living for the job. We're living for our families and our life outside of the job. And there's more to life than this job that we are working. So here's the resources for this one, and we will see you in the next one.